Hi, welcome to Tim's Antique Trains. Imagine just for a moment that it's 1953 and you are out shopping at the department store before Christmas. It's a snowy day and you look in the shop window and you see this train on display. It's the top of the line set. It's so beautiful. It's got a sign above that says sale and another one that says take me home today. So, on your way home from the department store, you imagine how the set will look under your Christmas tree. Then, you think of what you were going to tell your wife when you tried to explain why this train just happened to follow you home. Well, while I didn't buy this set new in 1953, and while I don't have to explain why I brought it home, I did find this set at a local train show. I have been keeping my eye out for a diesel set of some kind, but when I saw this passenger set for sale, it really pulled me in. This set is quite massive. For comparison, just a single ALCO PA is as long as my Northern 484 engine. All three dwarf the Northern. The powered A unit has two motors. The B unit has the air chime horn with the original speaker intact, which is a good thing. However, because my layout runs on DC, I actually disconnected the horn so that I would not destroy the speaker. The horn uses a capacitor and resistor in line with the speaker to filter out the AC, or in my case, DC, voltage and prevents it from buzzing when the engine is running. Now, the best way to protect the original speaker is to replace the capacitor with a new one. Old capacitors leak internally, and in short turn into resistors. This electrical leakage also means that the capacitors can pass DC instead of blocking it, which, since I run my flyer trains on DC, that would destroy the speaker. So, if you have an original air chime horn with original components, I strongly suggest replacing the capacitor with a new one. This set came out in 1953 and was chrome-plated plastic, which has a tendency to come off easy. Both motors in the powered unit needed to be thoroughly cleaned, and they were packed tight with dried grease and would not move. There was enough grease in these I had to soak them in degreaser for several days, and lots of scrubbing, and I still could not get them 100% spotless, but they are clean enough to operate now with fresh oil and grease. Adjusting these motors is tricky. It took a lot of trial and error to get the motors to spin freely and correctly. They have two adjustment screws on each side, and they must be perfectly aligned in the magnetic field and also aligned square to the gears, otherwise they will seize and will not spin. One of the motors aligned perfectly right away, but the other one was a bit of a bugger, and is still kind of intermittent, sometimes dragging the wheels instead. The original set came with 4 passenger cars, but I happen to have a second dome car, so now this is an even bigger set of 5. By the way, certain sets from Flyer in later years offered 5 passenger cars, I believe in the same configuration with the 2 dome cars. Interestingly, the second dome car I have is silver painted, not chromed like the rest of the set, although it is very hard to tell the difference. Alright, let's see if we can get some action out of this train. Right, here we go. All aboard! There seems to be something wrong. Sometimes the E-unit tends to be sticky when used with DC power. Let's listen into the cab radio and see what the engineer and brakeman have to say.
Herb, why isn't this thing going? I don't know, Harold. Seems like one of the traction motors is seized up. Well, Herb, what are you gonna do? Did you oil all the bearings? Yep. Did you grease all the gears? Yes, I did. Did you check the brakes? No. Then turn off the brakes.
Looks like they finally figured out the problem, but it sounds like they don't really like these newfangled diesel jobs. Now we will see how fast the train can go with only one engine. Should be a lot faster with less weight. Look at her go. Uh-oh, there's more trouble now. The engineer was going too fast. Looks like a derailment. Let's check back in the cab and see what happened.
Harold, you were going too fast. Looks like I was, Herb. We jumped the track. Guess we will have to call Spike with the old steam engine to give us a tow. Spike's engine is the only one large enough to tow this diesel back to the roundhouse.
Well, looks like Spike got their radio call and is backing up to rescue the passenger train. Maybe we can make up the lost time even with the old steam power. Looks pretty good to me. Now, what about if we run it at night? If you look closely at the smokestack, you can see the glow of the headlight in the smoke. Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this look at my American Flyer diesel passenger set. Thanks for watching Tim's Antique Trains.